Hello everyone. Firstly, I hope all of you are absolutely safe and secure in your respective locations. We understand that in certain parts of the country, the medical solutions are slightly more advanced in terms of facilities vis-a-vis the rest. And therefore, it's important that we continue to be cautious with respect to the safety of our health going forward. Quickly, to give you a summary and snapshot of what happened in the month of June, I would say June reminds you of rains, and that's exactly what happened in the bond markets. It was actually raining low yields as far as the bond markets go, where we saw across the curve, whether it's government bonds or corporate bonds, we actually saw the yields easing off. While we did not really see too much of lowering of the yields as far as the benchmark 10-year goes, because bulk of the activity was actually centered around the short to mid end of the curve. However, I think across there was reasonable activity, and there was a good bounce seen as far as even the flows into mutual funds were concerned. So it's understandable that given banks were buyers in the bond markets, mutual funds were buyers in the bond markets, and if you superimpose the comfortable liquidity in the banking system as yet, that created this reigning scene as far as the bond markets go. Also, if you look at the spreads, if I look at the government bonds, there was a little bit of spread widening, say between the 5-year bond and the 10-year bond. However, if you look at the corporate bonds, there was a good amount of buying seen, largely, of course, at the high grade end. And when I say high grade, it's not necessarily AAA. Yes, it includes AAA, but a combination of, say, AAA, say a AA plus and AA belonging to very well-known conglomerates. We saw those kind of sentiments, or I would say positive sentiments, come back to the bond markets, which I think is a healthy sign. And importantly, as I mentioned, given the spreads were widening in the government bonds, towards the end of the month, we also saw Reserve Bank of India announce a simultaneous buy and sell of bonds, which means that Reserve Bank of India will actually sell short-term bonds. In this case, it's largely treasury bills, and they will actually buy long-term bonds, which is north of the 7-8 year bonds. Now, what this is intended to do ideally is actually flatten the curve, which is seemingly steep due to maybe supply concerns, because week on week you have a supply. However, consistency and continuity of this simultaneous buy and sell would be very critical to sustain a flattening of the curve in the coming months ahead. So what does really an investor look out for in the coming weeks and months ahead? So for starters, inflation world over and inflation in India does not seem to be a very big concern right now, as is evidenced by the release of the WPI, or the wholesale price index data. The CPI numbers, however, were not released. Nevertheless, it's not likely to look very ominous at this juncture. So given that inflation is not a concern, the accommodative rate bias continues world over, there is a liquidity glut, and therefore India is not an exception. We expect the bond market sentiments to continue to be in the positive territory for some more time. Yes, there could be some small disturbances, some small volatilities, but those are likely to be more transient in nature rather than permanent. So for investors who are looking for allocations to fixed income, I think one thing is very evident, which I have reiterated earlier also. It's important to understand your investment horizon and track the price movements only across that investment horizon, and not really on a day-on-day basis, because NAVs will and have been volatile. In fact, in the same breath, it's important for all of you to note that with effect immediate, the daily mark to market of bonds applies to the entire yield curve. Earlier, it used to be only beyond 30 days, which means that even under 30-day instruments, fixed income instruments, will actually see a daily mark to market. This is not to obviously intimidate you, but just to tell you that there will be volatilities, but given the benign outlook and the favorable rate stance that we have for the country right now, one need not get disturbed by short-term gyrations. It is important to live the course. We would still urge investors to consider extending durations on one's fixed income portfolio depending on the outlook that you have. The overnight rates which mutual funds typically deploy are still likely to hover below the reverse repo rate, which means strategies like liquid and ultra short term, if you are considering very short term allocations, could be the way going forward, as we have always guided you. To conclude, fixed income has seen quite a bit of turbulences, gyrations in this quarter gone by. It is imperative to note that despite all that, across categories in fixed income, even the very near performances continue to be in the positive zone. Hence, the focus on risk-adjusted returns should be the driving force going forward, merely than focusing purely on returns. On that note, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay invested. Thank you.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme-related documents carefully.